2026. Yup, last day of July. Wow, would you believe it? Cheers. Yup. Oh, there's Molly. Hello, Molly. How you doing, sweetie? You coming for a nummy? Come on, honey. Love you. All right, now, okay, I guess we gotta set the table. Oh, don't spill your coffee. Let's set the table. You won't be able to see them because I was really planning on just talking to you for a little bit. But let me set the table so little animals will have something to eat. Get them scattered around here nice. You know, they get up early, but they don't get up as early as I did. I got up early this morning and I watched some YouTube videos, and I got a couple of things to talk to you about today if you have any interest in these things. We're going to have to expand our thoughts a little bit because they're outside the box of the normal thinker, as you might expect. But let's cover the first base first. Book of Enoch. I've never read it myself, but I've been watching videos that contain some of the things that it talks about. Now, granted, these are YouTube videos, so how accurate are they? I don't know. But I've seen 3 or 4 of them, and they have certain points that are exactly the same as one another, so I have to believe that there's an element of truth to it. So what I'm going to say is, don't take this for verbatim fact because I don't know if it is. But I can tell you this. A lot of it makes a great deal of sense. Number one, we know this. Enoch was alive. Well, I forgot exactly. Wasn't he the father of Methuselah? And God took him. So Enoch never died yet. He's one of the 2 witnesses that are going to come back when the times are sent right to Israel and the Jews for the 7 years, okay? So we know that he's one of the 2. And the other one, the only 2 people that are recorded in the Bible that have never died is Elijah. He was taken in a whirlwind of fire, remember? And Enoch was taken bodily by God. Okay, there's 2 human beings taken from the face of the earth into another dimension, up into heaven, wherever that is. That's where they are to this very day, still alive, very much alive. Now, why would they take 2 of those people of the Old Testament? One, Enoch was in antediluvian days before the flood came, and Elijah was after that. So it covers those 2 periods of time, a very different world. Enoch's world was very different than Elijah's world. Okay. So Enoch did quite a bit of writing. And a lot of it is first-hand experience where he saw exactly what he said. He didn't see it in a dream. He saw it verbatim, alive. All right. And he wrote about it. It has to do with 200 angels that came from heaven, and they left their natural state. They left the dimension that they were born in. They were whatever, they were created in this dimension. They left that dimension to come down here to have sex with God's creation, man. In this case, woman, thank God. Well, who knows what else they did. But let's put it this way. They bound themselves with a covenant, or a curse in this case, because one of them wanted to do it, the other ones went with them, and they knew what they were doing was the most hideous high treason you could possibly imagine for an angel to leave the world that he was created to live forever in. There was no such thing as death whatsoever. It was totally foreign. It did not exist to them at all, period. They're totally eternal being. Time didn't exist. And this is the realm where God himself lives, where time does not exist. It literally, it's just, I can't explain it better than that because I'm human and I've never seen or experienced that yet. In the book of Enoch, it talks about when a human being was created by God, and God created all the animals too, don't forget. And it really literally says that we're pretty much of the same spirit. All right. So I'm off the track quite a long way. Let's get back to the track. The devil is a fallen angel also, but the devil did not come down, from what I understand, with these 200, or is it 250, 200, at least 200 angels that left their place of residence, came to the earth, and they landed on the earth. So they came from above. They landed on the earth in a physical being on Mount Hermon, which is north of Jerusalem. Okay. That's recorded not only in the Bible, but also in other texts, the Sumerians or whatever the deal. I don't know exactly that much, so bear with me. I'm really talking about stuff. I come to you with 100% accuracy. This I can't because I don't have 100% accuracy on this, so I'm telling you right up front. Take this with a grain of salt, but I'm certainly not going to deliberately mislead you or bullshit you. I just may not be correct in everything I say. So follow along best you can if you care to. So there's Molly. Okay, Molly. Molly, you little scrambler. All right. Now, why am I sweet on this black squirrel? Well, I wouldn't call it sweet, but she's a cute little shit. And you got one? All right. She served herself. Okay. So don't spill the coffee. So here's the best I can tell you. Why there is a reason that I'm explaining this, and I'll tell you what it is right now. The reason is this. I'm going to have to give you a little more background before I go to this where I'm going. They were created to be in a certain place, an elevated place above the earth, above this dimension, whatever the deal. I'm not sure of that. But they left their place to come here. It was a one-time shot at it. It wasn't they had come and go, come and go, come and go. Once they came, they're here. And once they took wives, it says wives, they kidnapped them or whatever they did, of the women that were human, that were the children of Adam and Eve. All right. So another thing that you want to know about in the Bible is it cannot possibly tell you every single moment of every single day and even fit the timeline into something that could be read because actually all creation is that, if you stop and think about it, all that God has done is creation in its entirety, and it is played out not only in days but in seconds and hours and the whole thing, and we're part of it right now. So we're living part of this creation that was started at the beginning when God created it to start with. Pretty amazing. Just thought of that on the fly. But you see, when you start to poke around on some of these topics, the Holy Spirit will bring it to your attention to further bolster, if it's the truth. He's not going to bolster bullshit. So you can forget that because he's the spirit of truth. Thank God. So here's the thing. We got these angels that have bound themselves to a curse or to a covenant that if one goes down, they all go down. All right. When I was back in Enoch's day, so we got to go way back to antediluvian days, where the world was as fresh of a creation as we're told. All right. Now these angels start having sex and getting. So if anybody tells you angels can't, they don't have any equipment. Let this just let the Bible speak for itself. They got the human women pregnant. Now, when the human women had babies, they were half angel because it came from a father, and they were half human. So now they were no longer just human, and they were no longer just angel. They were a hybrid species. And it said that they grew to exorbitant sizes, and they were meaner than the son of a bitch. And they ate everything they could get their hands on. And this is why God intervened and brought the flood. The severity of the ferocity and the bloodshed was beyond anything you could imagine, and you've never seen anything like it. Even if you've watched your entire family slaughtered before your very eyes, you never saw anything like this. They were eating humans, they were ate everything. So God destroyed the planet and killed the giants, all right? But the spirits of the giants could not go to hell. They could not go to heaven. There was no place for a hybrid spirit. Now, the book of Enoch tells there was whole different layers of hell, and hell is a very real place. And it's not some mystical idea. It's a physical holding place here in the planet. It is real as you are, real as I am. Now, when your soul at death leaves your body, it's going to go one of two places. It has no other choice. It doesn't roam around looking in somebody's windows or no. It has no free will of its own anymore. You either make your choice here while you're alive, because that's what's going to carry you for eternity, is the choice you make now while you're living. This is it. This is the plane of making any choices. After that, you're bound by your choices that you made. All right? So if you heard that Jesus Christ is Lord and that he paid the price for your salvation, and you say, fuck it. Okay, well, nice. When you die, guess what? Parent, straight to hell. All right? You never heard about Jesus and you die. Parent, straight to hell. Sucks, but that's the way it is. You do hear about Jesus Christ, you accept what he did, boom, heaven. Does that make you a sinless person while you're alive on the earth? No. Every single born-again Christian sins from time to time because we're still human. The flesh is still fallen. We haven't gotten our unfallen flesh yet. Now, that's what I want to get back to. Enoch describes that man was, get out of there. Get out of there. Out. Out. All right. Friggin' animals. They want to root. And I'll tell you something else. Chipmunks, once they get something in their mind, it's locked. It's locked in there. They're going to do exactly what they think of doing. They're not going to change it. It could be days, weeks, a month. They're going to do exactly what the little bastards plan in their mind to do, which is an interesting thing, but that's how they're wired. But back to the story, or the account. So it's called, there's watchers, the Nephilim were the children hybrids of the union between the angels. I know this sounds fucking bizarre, but stick with me because it's going to make sense to you if you'll open your thoughts. Where did demonic spirits come from? All right. One, they're real because Jesus cast them out. I've cast them out of people. Jesus says that those who believe in him will cast out demons. Do you think he said that just to say it? No. There's a very real reason because they're a very real thing. Those are the spirits of those giants which could not go to hell or to heaven. They're stuck here on the earth. Now, there's a plane, a dimension here on the earth that is totally dry. It is barren. It is like the surface of the moon for any other way of putting it. And they, when they're cast out of a human being or an animal, they're sent to this dry place. And they wander. And they're searching. They want to go back to the house they call, if someone is possessed by a demon, the demon spirit lives inside the human being like a worm would live inside the asshole of your dog, all right? The dog is not taken over by the worm, but the worm lives inside in a symbiotic basis with the dog. And then maybe there's a billion worms, and then the dog does die. Now I don't know if the worms eat the dog, but I know this for a fact. Uh, so you realize that something alive can live inside of something else that's alive, like a child lives inside of its mother. It's alive. It is a child. It is going to be born a human being. When the day comes that the birth happens, it's a little child. It's not. I understand. So what about these demon spirits? All right. First of all, you know that you are a spirit, you're a soul, and you live in a body. Okay. The soul part I've mentioned to you before is what makes you, you, different than me, or anybody else on the planet. You are like an individual unto yourself. You're the only one there is. So that's one of the things to make you very special, who you are. Now the spirit that lives inside you is what keeps you alive. It's your life force. The spirit keeps you alive. Now, these demonic spirits are fallen spirits. They find an entrance into your life. Different things can draw them to you. One of the things I noticed by accident that drew them into my life was when I drew paintings on the wall. Yep. Even if you make a cardboard cutout of a human figure, that is enough to draw them to you. And I can elaborate on both of those situations, and I may yet, but I want to stay with what I'm telling you. If they can get inside you and coexist with you, not knowing they're there, you're going to notice different thought patterns than you usually feel in your mind. You're going to, what the fuck am I thinking this bullshit for? And you may have different desires that you haven't had before. Now, when you think of fallen spirits, or fallen angels, or Nephilim, don't think for a second that all those offspring of those hybrids were male. They weren't. Some were female also. Okay? So a young boy, for whatever reason, is infiltrated with a female fallen spirit. What do you think his desire is going to be when he grows up? What about a young woman who gets infiltrated with a demonic spirit of a man? What do you think his desires are going to be? Does that make it a little clearer on a subject that we don't really have a very sharp focus on? Why do certain people choose a lifestyle that's opposite of what they were born to engage in a proper, I say a proper lifestyle? Because the man was made first and the desire of the woman was unto the man. That's what the Bible says. Okay? But now you add these fallen spirits into the realm, and you wonder why you end up with this mismatch of things. All right? That makes sense. Now we're starting to say, wait a minute. You mean it's not so? No, it ain't really so and so's fault. It really isn't so and so's preference. It's the preference of the spirit that's gained power over so and so. Wow. So yeah, don't think of so and so as being some type of a, well, they're different. It doesn't make them less human. It means that without understanding of what's going on, one, they may not want to be free of it, so you can't cause them to be free of it unless they want to be. But if they realize, oh my God, I wasn't always this way, and then they can call out to God for deliverance. And God could either do it right on the spot, or he can lead them in a scenario of their time unfolding here on the planet where they meet people who can help them and legitimate help, cast the demon out or the many demons or whatever the deal is, cast the fallen spirits out. What happens then? Their desires change. Now, my friend Andy McDonald was telling me that when a person has worms, they can literally have cravings for things that they don't normally crave, like sweets or other things. Okay? So if a worm has the power to cause its host to desire things that it wants, wait a minute now. The worm is alive, isn't it? Yes. So that means it has a spirit. I don't know if it has a soul, but it definitely has a body, the body of the worm. It definitely has a spirit because it's alive. So could a worm be infiltrated with an evil spirit and then have the ability to seduce you into wanting to eat certain foods that it likes? See where we're headed? This is quite a rabbit trail. And there's a squirrel. But anyway, so what the hell are we talking about? We're talking about understanding, number one, that we're in a biblical timeline. God has made this creation. It exists on this plane or this dimension or whatever it is. And it's headed to, to run out its course. Remember, creation was created by God. Now we want to take it, I want to take the focus and take a little of the sharpness off the focus, and we're going to blur it just a little. God's creation, which is man, has made video games and now this AI stuff, which is absolutely spectacular as far as the quality of the images that we're seeing. It's fabulous. In some respects, if you don't see real good with your eyes, you're looking at something that is in sharp focus. And to a person who doesn't see in sharp focus anymore, that is a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. Sharp focus, because you lost that ability. Without glasses or some way to do something, you don't have sharp focus. Maybe in certain areas you sharp focus, but then it goes out of sharp focus very quickly. Well, now we hear that they're thinking of melding the human being with the machinery, that you could actually live your life in a computer generated life. You could literally somehow, your soul could move into an avatar in a computer game and you could live in there. Isn't that taking you as a higher form, going into a lesser form, which would be a created by man avatar, and living your digital life out in a computer game? The reason I said that is because the angels lived in heaven. They came down to this plane, which was lower than heaven. Now man wants to make something where he can meld. This is the same bullshit. It's not going to have a good end. Now suppose that the avatar had sex with an avatar in the game and it produced an offspring. Now it's a cross between an avatar but with a human. See what I mean? It's getting pretty fucked up in a hurry, ain't it? Right now it's on the very outside edges of me even being able to comprehend what the fuck I'm talking about. So if I left you in the dust, don't feel bad, because I'm looking around too, going, what the fuck? Did we have anything to say? Yes. Back to Enoch. Now in Enoch, and it also says in the Bible that the Ethiopians will have a lot to do with stuff coming toward the end. Well, they are. They happen to be the ones who kept Enoch in its entirety the way it was meant to be to begin with. And in there it speaks of there's a holding place in Antarctica. It's a door inside the earth that has no handle on the outside. It only can be opened from the inside. There is a living that can't die thing in there that's going to be released at a certain moment. Now, remember the Antichrist rises from the sea? Yep. The book of Enoch talks about this place being, and it has it down to a science. The bottom of the ocean being the flat, dark stone. You did, I'll see if I can link what I watched to this, so it'll help to make some sense out of why the fuck am I talking about this foolishness on the. It isn't really foolishness though. It seems like foolishness if we want to only absorb what comes through the newspaper and CNN or Fox or whatever the deal. If that's your bottom line on reality, then none of this is going to wash. You're going to think this is lunacy, absolute ridiculous bullshit. You wouldn't give 2 cents for it or 1 second of your time to waste on this nonsense. But if you look a little bit deeper into things, and you look deeper into your own life and the kind of thoughts you think from time to time, and I don't know if you've ever had sleep paralysis where you're pushed down in your bed, or where you're wide awake and you're petrified and can't talk. I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but if you ever start having experiences in the supernatural negative side, you're going to understand better what I'm talking to you about. And if you ever have even a family member who looks at you at a certain time and you look right into their eyes and it ain't them that you're seeing, then they talk to you in a voice that comes out of their body that isn't the voice of your sibling. I've had that. Yep. Have you ever had an argument with your wife where you say one thing, but before those words could reach her ears, it turns into something else and she heard a totally different thing? See, these are the weird things in life that you've probably noticed and said, "What the fuck is going on?" So it doesn't make sense. This is what I want to say. You can't measure the supernatural with a natural measurement. Or can you? Or can you? Last day of July, huh? And you're talking to this knucklehead. Well, listen, there's reasons for these things. One, we know, I mean, if you don't know how close we are to the Antichrist showing up, I'm probably wasting my breath talking to you. We are so, I don't see how it can last. At the speed everything is changing with the data centers and all the other stuff. Did you know that the data center, one of them in Michigan, it makes a horrible screeching noise 24/7, and the poor bastards that used to live, or still do, have their houses somewhere, are subjected to this hideous fucking sound 24/7. There's a dead mosquito. 24/7. And I just saw on YouTube that the data centers are likely to be obsolete within before they even get them all made. And the money that it's costing and the money that your electric bill is going to be for these fucking things is off the charts. And all of this unsustainable, unsustainable. The fucking reality that we're now living is unsustainable for any length of time. Between the economy, between the wars, between the bullshit, between all of it. Between the most ridiculous things you've ever seen in your life, and there they are in front of your face. Now, the alien card. Don't forget. Don't forget. There's that alien card. They're going to show these 7 to 8 foot tall, chalk white creatures with long white hair and blue eyes. They're supposedly have been working with the government now since what was it, President Eisenhower? Yeah, it's just when. Aren't you glad you're just a normal person? You don't have to deal with any of this bullshit. Because let me tell you something. Knowledge comes with a price. It comes with weight. Do you think it's easy to have? It isn't easy. I don't have any choice. I don't have any choice. I've seen this shit since the time I was a tiny child, a toddling nipper. I've been surrounded by this kind of horse shit. So for me, it's easy to understand, but it's a weight to carry because it's not just la la land. And geez, I hope when I die, and I'm a nice guy, God's gonna pat me on the back. If there even is a God, He's gonna pat me on the head. You know. Not, how many people do you know, and it could even be you, that make up your own recipe for what happens when you die? Well, what are you basing that on? Did you create your own life? Did you create your own world? Did you create everything that's around here? Did you create me? No, you damn sure didn't. And I didn't create you. So my perception of reality is my perception of reality. But aren't we all living on the same fucking plan? Aren't we all on the same playing field, really? Yes. Who the fuck made that? God did. All right then. If there's a real playing field to this thing, and we all are stuck on it, whether we're imagining that I'm a cat person, so I need the shit in the litter box now, or I think I was really born to be Gina Lola Brigida, but my chest don't look quite the same, and these whiskers, maybe we'd have to drop them down about 4 feet, and then I can dust the floor while I walk along, huh? Be that as it may. So what the fuck are we talking about? Okay, a lot of this shit makes sense when you unpack it. It may not make the kind of sense that you would make out of it if you could come up with it your own self. But if you see the absolute obvious evidence of this stuff, all of a sudden, you've been trying to pound a fucking triangular shaped square object into a square place for years, and it just doesn't fucking fit, so you throw both of them away so they piss on it. But you bring that triangle over to fucker dropped right in. That's what we're talking about. What the fuck is going on? Well, cut to the chase. We're very, very close to the rise of the Antichrist. How do I know? Because it says in the Bible that the Antichrist will empower a avatar or a statue or a holographic entity like Cortana that has AI and will either, if it like, it'll kill you. If it doesn't like your answers, you're dead. It has the ability to kill you. You either worship the beast and the false prophet, or you die. Those were thousands of years ago that was written. Remember that. Thousands of years ago that was written. Back 250 years ago, America just was getting started. You wouldn't believe this horse shit back then. For generation upon generation, what happened with Grandpa's day was not that much different from what's happening with your day. But now, two siblings born a year apart are born in totally different worlds, pretty much. The shit's changing fast. Jesus said that the birth pains would in the world would be like those of a woman. When the water breaks, you're on a collision course with a birth. I've never witnessed this because I've never had a wife that was pregnant and would have a child. The one when I married had already had 2 children, so I wasn't there for that. But any of you who have had a wife or are a wife who've had children know that the pains become severe and then quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker until fuck it, it's got to happen. And it does. Yeah. This is where we are. What the fuck? So this is where we are, and you're with me. We're living in the same time. Wherever you are on the planet, I'm here on the planet. But we're in the same time frame. We have the same opportunities, and we have the same limited amount of time. I don't know how much time. I'm not going to tell you. But I know this. When I was looking up in the sky tonight, when I got up to feed the flying squirrels at 2, and I was praying to God. And there's that fella, Brian, on his channel. He's constantly saying that, you know, we're getting close. Wake up. Get Jesus. And I can see that it's starting to wear on him. I don't know how many years he's been doing this, but he's had to turn his comments off because people were roasting him, I guess, or he's just sick of dealing with the comments, which I kind of like the comments. You know, I feel like I can't talk to the guy now, but whatever. But he's trying to get us all to wake up. All right. And with that, what happened to the animals? With that, I'm going to call it a day. So where am I leaving you? I'm leaving you with do some research on your own into Enoch. I don't know how much you've read the Bible, if you've read it at all. If you haven't, this stuff is totally foreign to you. It'd be like me trying to learn calculus by somebody who understands it and is a mathematician. Calculus what? I know. I have no clue what it is, or what it does, or why you would have it. It's just as foreign to me as music. Music. Now, then I'm going to leave you for today. Let's end on a good note. Note that song. Quan sang. Quan sang? Yeah, Quan sang Vietnam. Now, 1966, is the newest edition. I went back with a Conklin, and I did something that I usually don't have the discipline to do. I didn't overrun the song with a billion notes to make a muddled mess of bullshit out of it. And it took some discipline. It took me deliberately grab myself by the back of the fucking neck and say, listen, you're not going to run all over it. Pay the fuck attention and put it where it will help to bolster the song, not slaughter the son of a bitch like you usually do. Just go ape shit and everything turns into a muddled mess of shit. I mean, you don't throw every spice in the fucking stew and just throw it in by the bottle. I mean, you ruined the whole fucking thing. And that's what I usually do. No discipline, just gone ape shit. Well, that, back to the positive side. I've probably listened to that one song, which is only, 7 minutes long? Not very long. Let me tell you how that came about. I want to play In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, but I can't find the drum part anywhere. I'm going to have to play it on the keyboard, stomping it out as it goes, and hope not to fuck the whole thing up a million times, because every time you do, I don't just cut a thing, I go back and do it from scratch. And this is take a long time. Now, you would say, well, why do you think you've got the talent to fucking do something like this? Well, number one, it was the first song I ever liked in my life. Was when I was 13 years old, and that song came out in 1968. Um, Other than that, I didn't give a flying F for the Beach Boys, Elvis, fuck Elvis, all that bullshit. I hated the music of the 50s. Growing up in I hated it. It fucking sucked in my book. Now, I go back to the 30s and 40s where it has intelligent music. I kind of like that, but this bebop bullshit, you can throw it all in the fucking trash. I didn't have no use for it at all. I didn't have any use for music at all, period, until I heard In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. So why do I think I would have the talent to play it? Number one, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Let's put that on the table right off the bat. If you begin something and you don't think you can do it, fucking don't even bother, because you're already going to have what you believe for. You're not going to do it. You have to go into something believing you're going to do it and then fucking make it happen. All right? It doesn't say it's going to fall out of a tree like a ripe melon. You're going to have to work at it, but you can't stop once you start. So I went back to try to find out where in the fuck. I've got 88 keys. All right? 88 keys on the keyboard. Now, which ones work the drum part of this program? And I had to map it out, take a piece of paper and draw, this is the snare drum, is on this one, this is the hi-hat, this is this, and I end up with about this fucking long of where you're going to stomp those keys to play the fucking drums. And I don't have the ability to play with my hands and my feet too. I have all four of them going. So now it means I've got a double track at least, maybe have to do every single one a separate track and have them exactly synchronized. Motherfucker. Yeah, see what I mean? But you can't think you can't do it. So I went back to do that. Well, it's laborious, and it can be a shade on the boring side. And then you get to that spot where your mind says, could you look for a different sound? And I found this fucking, it looks like a surfboard with strings from either Japan or China, I think Japan. I don't know what the fuck, quag bong or whatever the fuck the name of the thing is. I don't know what the hell it is. But it's got a fucking shithouse load of strings. Oh, I like the sound of this shit. So next thing you know, and I realized, because I went, and I did find the chord changes in the chords to In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida online. Bless God. Then I found out I put the chart on the thing while I'm playing it, so I can see what the fuck goes on next. And then I know which keys to hit to make a certain chord. I don't fucking know. What do you want from me? I'm doing the best I can. But again, if you don't think you just go with it. You got to learn somehow. So you got to climb the fucking stairs, even if they're invisible stairs. Climb the sons of bitches, or you're never going to get up there. Eventually, we will have that son of a bitch. Anyway, so what happens here? What happens here is I take the chord, which is a D minor 7, all right? On a keyboard, it's like every other note when you start with D. And you got it, all right? I start fucking around with that pattern, with that quagnom or whatever the fuck the name of that thing was. Bing, bong, bong, bong. And then I got this other hand to go boom, at a certain time, and I'm starting to get a little syncopation going, and then I realized I was no longer doing it. I mean, I was, but I wasn't. I was doing it, but after I heard the song back, I realized this is fucking almost like a language. This son of a bitchin' song doesn't sound as much like a 5-year-old kid just banging the fuck out of the thing, which, don't tell me, there's probably kids that could outdo me right now. But this had phrases, it had sentences, it had chapters, it made sense all the way from the front to the back. And then when I built it up with the gong and with the cymbals that swell and the crescendos and the conklin in just the right places and no lead. The fucking bass of the whole song with that surfboard with strings was the lead. That was the melody to the whole thing. That was a supporting song itself. I've listened to that son of a bitch. I I'll tell you what. I enjoyed a shit out of it. That's the first music music that's come out of me in years. It really is. The rest of it, jamming to this bullshit. But it it practice is about all you can say for it. And I don't even call it music. It's some old fuck dicking around with instruments. That's about the best I would say for it. It's pitiful, I mean, you could, if you put it next to a real musician, get the fuck out of here. Go clean the cat box. Enjoy life. But put the fucking instrument away. But this was like the old days in 2006, 2007, up to 2009, where it was fresh to me. I was lost in the creation. The creation of it has to come from the inside out. I don't have forethought as to know what I'm going to play. If it comes out of me as it goes, it starts in the beginning, it has its travel time, and it has its end, like creation itself. That's the way I used to draw pictures with artwork. I would have a white blank sheet. I wouldn't know what the fuck I was doing. I would look at the sheet until I started to draw. Once I began drawing, it would flesh out over a period of time with the colors and the whole thing, and I ended up with things on my wall today which are prophecy of where I am today, back then when there was no fucking sign of this. There it is. That's all I can tell you. That's the honest to God truth. I think I showed you on one other one, this leaning tree over here next to the stream. It's at the same fucking angle as one that I drew when I think it was just before I got married. Then another one, the oak tree up on the forest yard with the Atisco Lake and the fucking hillside beyond it. It was a white sheet of paper. And all I can tell you is there is a very, very real side to the supernatural. Some of it is positive, some of it is not positive. But you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. The interesting, and it's mysterious as a motherfucker, I'm going to be honest to you. It's interesting. You have to be careful you don't get sucked into it, because people do when they go fucking apeshit. So you don't want that. You don't want to worship it. You better be worshiping God. And that'll be the only thing you're worshiping. So we got that out of the way. Him, we worship. End of story. This other stuff, Jesus said to Nicodemus, he said, Nicodemus, you've come to me in the dark because you don't want to get snagged, paraphrased, by the other religious leaders, because they're going to throw you the fuck out of being a Pharisee. As soon as they find out you came to see me, you're fucking toast. All right? I know you came and you want to know things about heaven, but you don't even understand the things about earth, the rudimentary things that you're supposed to know. You don't fucking know. So I can't tell you things because you can't accept what you've got in front of you now. And you want me to tell you stuff that's so far out, your mind, what the fuck, you can't fit the Atlantic Ocean in a thimble. You can get a little piece of it, but that ain't the ocean. So this is what I'm saying. There's so much to life. If you will just be curious enough and attentive enough to what. And like you say, it's ridiculous for a person to talk to plants. It isn't at all. They've proven that plants talk to each other. It's an amazing thing. The rainbow in the sky. Is that all about faggots and lesbians? No. It has nothing to do with it at all. It has to do with God's covenant with the plants, with the animals, all the creeping things, all of it. Him, them, and us too. It's a covenant for all of creation with God that he said, I will not destroy the earth again with a flood, ever. And that is my sign between you and all creation. Not just man, all creation. Now another thing, the animals and the plants are suffering under the sin of man right now. When I saw that poor deer walk up with her fawn the other day, and her side has got at least 12 horseflies just biting the living shit out of her. That poor little tail on the baby's going like a bastard, trying to keep them fucking things off of them. That's the curse. That's the curse in action right there. Just tormenting the living shit out of those poor animals. Then you say, well, fuck, maybe when they get to the winter time, they'll be safe. Now then the ticks are tearing the shit out of them. Then they're freezing their balls off. They got fucking coyotes up the ass. No, it ain't easy. It ain't easy for the poor animals. It ain't easy for any of us. It isn't. But like that lady who had cancer, I prayed for her. I stood on what I know is the facts, the absolute bald-faced fucking facts. I didn't wish it to happen. I didn't Ouija board it. I didn't fucking roll bones for the shit. I didn't cut myself and dance around naked with a feather up my ass. I spoke to the woman the truth. Jesus already healed you. Thank him for it. Bam, it's gone. Because it had a name. And Jesus has authority, as I've told you. I'm not going to browbeat you with the same thing. But when you see, this is why you want to learn this shit that seems spooky and fucking weird, because there's some of it that has such foundation. It's like the person who says, I don't know God, but when I die, I'm going to be just fine. How the fuck do you know? Number one, you're wrong. You can't make your own fucking reality. It's not in you to do. You can steer your own life, and you should. What? Okay, you. Did you hear him? All right, come here, Fuzzy. Want some? Come on. You happy now? Get it, Fuzzy. Fuzzy, get it. Come on. Yes, come on. Come on. Just for you. Come on. Love you. Come on, Fuzzy. Oh, you pirate. Go get that one. That boy. Go on. Get him. Come on. You got it, you little fucker. See what I'm saying? All right, enough monkey business. This mysterious life. Fucking put your arms around it. Feel it. Smell it. No, don't watch your eyes. See? What the fuck? I better go. You want more? Fucking dogs are going now. Down to the Baskervilles. Fuck it. Let's get out of here. What do you think? Fuzzy, are we in danger? You think so? Come on, let's go. Have a good day, guys. Oh, you little scrambler.